A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out Bafana.
All about Fetu, this is Parker, yeah? Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke kuphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Mokwena. I'm your host, and this is the place where we absolutely love South African football. We love African football, and every now and then we go over to Europe, man, and we check out what is happening on that side. For the most part, we are here. Apologies for not being in yesterday. Hey, I had to shoot the other podcast on a different day, so I am back here today. The show is normally on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then, of course, if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Banyana, or Bafana are in action, we are probably going to be live unless there is something going wrong. Now, remember, it's a very interactive show. And when it's an interactive show like that, it means that you guys can jump in and actually speak to me right now while I'm live. You do that by, by joining on TikTok, as like TikTok running, joining on TikTok and adding your voice to there. But remember, you have to be following me in order to be able to add your voice to the show. I'm probably going to have to repeat that because my TikTok is a little bit behind, but we are live. Okay, guys, so like I said, it's a show where we love South African football and we love African football, and every now and then those two tend to intersect. And over the past few days, we have had the second legs of the CAF Champions League, a CAF Champions League that has been punctuated by great performances from South African teams. Stellenbosch reaching the semi-finals, beating Zamalek, the current holders of the CAF Confed Cup. So that means Stellenbosch is going to be representing SA in the semi-finals of the Confederations Cup. And then, of course, we have the two big dogs, Orlando Pirates, who took on MC Alger in the second leg. They were welcoming them. They were welcoming them to Orlando Stadium yesterday, and then of course Mamelodi Sundowns the day before. So Ladine, welcome. That is what we're going to be speaking about today. We're going to be speaking about how you guys feel about the games, how you guys feel about the play, how you guys feel about the fact that now there are two South African teams that are going through to the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League, and one that is going through to the CAF Confed. Very, very interesting times, especially since we're going to be playing Egypt, essentially, with Orlando Pirates lining up versus Pyramids FC, and then, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns lining up versus their good old foes, Al Ahly, in what some may call the African derby. So, we're going to start off with, let me just pull it up. We're going to start off with Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns played ES Tunis in the second leg over there in Tunisia. It was the second leg that had a lot of drama linked to it because, as we all know, ES Tunis was the team that knocked out Sundowns last year, and it was the team that Sundowns coach Cardoso comes from. Also, we have a South African over there at ES Tunis, which is mokwena. So, very, very interesting game that we had over there. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, winning 1-0 in the home leg, and then, of course, having to go face ES Tunis that side. Now, the stats are as follows. ES Tunis had 9 shots, 2 on target, and then, of course, Sundowns had 8 shots, 2 on target. Sundowns had 54% of the possession versus ES Tunis 46. Sundowns completed 438 passes versus the 355 completed by Esperance. And then, of course, Esperance created one big chance, which they missed. And Mamelodi Sundowns created no big chances because we all know what the mission was. So feel free to jump in and tell me how you felt about Mamelodi Sundowns versus ES Tunis. And then we're going to go into Orlando Pirates versus MC Alger, and we'll speak about what happened over there. So feel free to request right now, and we can go from there. Guys, apologies for not being here, man. Apologies for not being here. Yesterday, I had to go shoot the other podcast, but I am back here and live. So let me hear Liring, man. Remember, there is a timer, 25 minutes for each panel, 5 people per panel. Give me 3 minutes of what you're thinking. Then 2 minutes to let me ask you some questions about something maybe that you have said. And again, guys, kupa litepe, guys. Kupa litepe. Please, can we tap the screen as much as possible? And then also kupa the gift, man. So, Skara, it looks like you're alone, man. Skara, welcome to the show. How are you?
Who cares? Who cares that we are South
I don't have the
Africans?
sound anymore. Who cares, man?
My bro. Are you good?
Man. Ngimnandi, man, Skara. Who cares that you're playing Esperance in Tunisia? Who cares?
Who cares that we are starting the semi-finals at home? Who cares? No, let me start there. I've got a problem, man, my guy.
Yeah.
Why are we starting the second round? Both Sundowns and Pirates are playing at home on the Easter weekend. That's even worse. Abanye baye emasontweni, abanye baye kuphi. Why can't
Abanye
we
baye
start
Moria.
one? Yes. So it's, man, I don't understand the reasoning behind the CAF lapaya.
Okay.
Because they're making the fixture if you can check every single year, Al-Ahly semi-final, it's bound to start away and end at home. Which gives them...
So do you think it's an advantage?
It is an advantage, especially on the semi-final. Look what Orlando Pirates did. We got one goal, that side, and we just came here. The supporters, we were there at the stadium, 12 men. The only thing, we just don't need to concede. So it plays, especially Al-Ahly, because they are the ones that are decorated. Like, they've got a lot of experience when it comes to CAF. It always has an advantage for them. But nonetheless, the good side, I think God is on our side, man, as South Africans. Differences aside, I was watching Sundowns game. Hey, they frustrated that team. They frustrated Esperanto to the core. I was like, hey, I don't like Sundowns. Mara for today, man. And then it came again to Pirates. Same story. I think they have a WhatsApp group, Cardoso and Rivero. That approach, man.
So Skara, what do you say to the people that say that approach is un-South African, man? What do you say to people that say that maybe the two teams are selling out in order to go far in this Champions League?
No, man. Remember, in football, you don't play the same way every time. Not a chance. There was a time where Man City was all over Real Madrid. Real Madrid was just staying there at the back. And then they won that game. And then the next game, they go back to their own style of playing.
Okay.
Remember, you check the opponent, you check your strength as well. And you see that, okay, if I do 1, 2, 3, if Pirate went with 2 defenders, definitely sure we were going to be killed.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened on the first leg between Sundowns and Pirate. Pirate tried to go pound for pound, trying to please the supporters, trying to show the country that, yeah, we can match Sundowns. But in reality, man to man, we knew that they were going to kill us, and they did that. But he went to the drawing board, went with a 3 at the back, everything changed. So you need to adapt. As a coach, you can't do one thing always. You need to check your strength and see that, oh, this works and this does not work. Yes, we didn't play the way we normally play, but the results, we got the results. Then the next game against Marumo Gallants, we showcase. Wetito.
Pirates, Oscar.
No, I'm just saying, it's just a typical example. Obviously, Shugela, it's on Pirates, man. Sundowns is playing nice football, but not Leo Tribula as a Malokshin. They're playing nice football. What I don't like in Sundowns, one, it's killing our South African team. We used to have a lot of players as the Sundowns, with squad.
Okay.
Which slowly but surely, if we are check manje, is into the change now. So it's not nice for our number 1 team to have less players. We will end up having 0 players is the Sundowns, which is not good for South African football.
Very quickly, 30 seconds. How do you feel about Sundowns' chances versus Ahly?
Let me put my head on the block. We are having a South African final. Sundowns is going to beat Ahly. I know people are saying, hey, wara. Sundowns is going to beat Ahly.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. Yeah.
On Nedbank. But we are going to beat them at Nedbank final.
Can't be Chiefs, but no, but it's fine. Let me, before I let in Kodani, I want to ask you in the comments, guys, how do you feel about people that say that maybe we are selling out our South African football in order to play more North African, more defensive, and maybe it's going to ruin the game? But let me go to Kodani. Kodani, welcome to the show. How are you?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares that we are going to the semi-finals? Who cares that South African teams, 3 actual South African teams,
Yeah.
are in a Continental Champions League
Yeah.
semi-finals? Who cares that the final is coming to South Africa?
Okay.
What a wonderful day! What a wonderful life that we are living in to witness this. But anyway, before I can go to the game, I just wanted to get something off my chest.
Yeah.
Mr. Ote. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like these days supporters, they are watching these games with a hate or something, especially when Sundown is playing. Like, let me give you, for example, the first leg we played against Esperance, and then there was a chaos. And then Chiefs and Paris supporters, they said, no, Sundown, they are hooligans. They provoke those guys and all, wara. Okay, it's fine. Then, same thing happened to Orlando Pirates yesterday. Now the tune changes. North African teams, they're hooligans. That's why they were even pulling Sundowns. So I don't know if it's the hate or it's the jealous or something. I don't know. But
Maraki GNU, man. You know there's the GNU, man.
Even the same thing with this VAR or something. I don't know if South Africa, we are ready for VAR. Because it seems like people, they don't want actually VAR. They want a result that they favors them. Even when the VAR is here, you will see people, they're still gonna complain and all those things. Like we saw that picture with one angle. I don't know if the VAR from Africa and England, if you see the VAR from England, they have maybe 360 cameras degree or angles that will show everything. But here in Africa, they normally, I don't know if they normally show the same camera that is watching, that is the one that they are using to watch the football. That's the only land that they show. And we, with our naked eyes, you can't conclude whether it's offside or not offside. If you, for example, there was this other goal in World Cup. I don't remember if it was Japan or something.
Yeah.
And then the ball was, I think it was few millimeters. Like it was not out. But if you check it on a camera angle, you will see like it's out. But when they were using, because they have goal line technologies, so they have cameras on the line. So when you check with that camera, you will see that no, there was some few millimeters that they were still inside the line. Then the goal was given. So that's another thing. Like VAR, it comes or it doesn't come, there's still gonna be an issue with our people because they want their decision to favor them.
Okay.
But anyway, Asiko Lapo, let's go to the game. I think like the way Sundown plays against Experience away, like I really love how he structures his players, and Sundown is the team that doesn't defend with like parking the bus. It defends like holding the ball, playing around. Like if you see, we had I think 60 to 70% of ball position.
Yeah.
Even though we were away, we didn't sit back. I think we don't have that strength like a Pirates where they can just park the bus, defend one way.
Yeah.
Get the ball, just kick it out. But the way Sundowns plays, it was very good. We keep the ball, we frustrate them, and by last 5 minutes, that's where we put more defenders and we started defending deep. But when it comes to such kind of football, like it's like going to a war, gun war with a knife. So I don't blame how South Africans are adopting that standard of playing CAF. Because they're in CAF, that's how those guys play. So we also need to go there with our AK-47,
For
not
the,
with
last 30,
knives.
for the last 30 seconds here, I want to ask you, can our football win at the highest level, or do we have to keep defaulting to the other one?
I think we need to keep defaulting to the African standard if we are playing CAF. Our football, I don't think, in terms of CAF, I don't think we're going to win it if we keep playing our football. We tried with Rulani. He tried to play it smart and all those things, but we failed for 2 to 3 seasons. And then now, as you can see, now we are playing their way, and now we are succeeding. So I think this is how we're supposed to play CAF. And the last thing, I think CAF needs to scrap this away goal thing. I think that's where we're gonna now see the more exciting football. Team won't be sitting back and protecting those away goal and home goal and all those things. So if maybe CAF they can adopt the European standard and scrap the away goal rule, I think now maybe the football will be exciting. Maybe we can go back to our standard of football.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Amina. Amina, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, how are you?
Hi, man, I'm good. South Africa, man, semi-final. How did you feel about ES Tunis versus Mamelodi Sundowns, 0-0?
First and foremost, let's just say congratulations to Stellenbosch, congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns, congratulations to Orlando Pirates. I mean, this is big for South African football, you know. This year is AFCON year, we're qualifying for the World Cup, so this year it's a very, very special year for South African football. So
Under 17s qualified,
regardless of the football. So, you know, going to the games, I think particularly Sundowns game, which is the topic for now. So, of course, I'm not a fan of, you know, playing like the, you know, not, I mean to say not Africans, the way they play, because that's not football. You know, we've been fooled for over 30 years in Africa that this is how we play football. You know, the likes of Ahly, Esperance, and so forth, Zamalek, the way they play football, you know, going to the referees, fighting and all this is not football. And this is why that our football is not even watchable. You know, they've convinced us that the way they play football is how we should play football. And that is not how we need to play our football. You know, for me, watching the Sundowns game and also watching the Pirates game, you see the North Africans, the way they play. Every foul, you want to shout at the referee. Every, you know, everything for them, it's time to complain and all of that. But when people say that, you know, we need to play like them to win, I disagree, because we have quality. You know, we are more like Brazilians. We need to believe in ourselves, play our own football, because our football is watchable. It's entertaining. So if you're going to, of course, you can do it now, you know, just to get that winning feeling, you know, for a South African team to win the CAF in a very long time. For me personally, I can say, you know what, it's fine. They can do it this year, but it mustn't be a culture of whereby now we are at a position whereby we are playing like the North Africans, you know, we are running around. There's no pattern of play. The football is not watchable. We need to believe in ourselves, you know, play according to our strength. Let's play our own football.
So can I ask, I hear you, but the records say that the North Africans have been winning this thing. We've only got 2 of these things in our history since we've been allowed back in. How do we take our football to the point that it can go win? Because, I mean, it's been 30 years, it's been, I don't know, 8 years of Sundowns being one of the bigger teams in Africa. Pirates was big at some point, dropped off, came back, dropped off, came back. How do we make it that our football can go win a Champions League? And is it important for our football to win the Champions League?
It is important for our football to win the Champions League, you know, in terms of the players believing in themselves, the coaches believing in the league. But going back to your point, the reason why we are not playing our football when you play the non-Africans is because we go to these games in a defensive mindset. If you look at the Pirates, you know, playing at Orlando, putting 3 defenders, I didn't expect the coach to play in that style, you know, putting Pitso on the bench. I thought we were going to own the game because these players, not African players, you know what they do? They play the ball to the midfielder, they go wide and they cross and they score. That's what they do. Transparency, all of them, Zamalek, Tunisia, Ahly, that's what they do. They play to the midfielder, they go wide, they cross the score. There's no creativity in their play. So we need to play our own football because our football is entertaining. Our football is good to watch, it's appealing. So that's why we are among the best leagues in the world because the football that we play is entertaining. So I don't understand why we have to change our style of play so that we can, look like them. Because now you look at the Pirates game, we are looking like the North Africans.
But
running
Stella
around,
was
kicking the
winning,
ball.
man.
Sorry, my brother, come again.
Stella was winning, man.
It is because we don't apply it when we play these North Africans. We go there, we are scared. We become defensive minded. We have never really played our style of football when we are playing against these North Africans. Every time we play them, it's fine. When you play an away game, you can plan for it. But if you are playing at home, impose yourself. Show what you are all about. If you are playing in front of a packed Orlando Stadium, a packed, Sundowns there at Lucas, you need to play your own game. Impose yourself. But going back to Sundowns,
Very
just
quickly,
last
because
point.
time. Very quickly, yeah.
Yeah, last point. For me, the critic I have against for Sundowns, although they are magnificent, take nothing away from them, they are playing good football. But
Yeah.
for me personally, I just wish that the coach of Sundowns can play a Ribeiro or with someone, maybe a player who's also got creativity. Don't play Shalule and Renas together or Salas because you are taking away the creativity of the team.
For time, I'm going to have to jump in so I can give Fort Fusion some time. Fort Fusion, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, good on you, my brother.
I'm waiting to get a 40 in Naman.
Eh, ja utlwa la ka dam.
But it's fine. Fort Fusion, how do you feel about ES Tunis versus Sundowns?
No man, hands down, Sundowns are a quality team, and the coach of Sundowns is a quality coach. It's not always that you have to play fancy football. You have to analyze the match, whether you need to play this type of football or that type of football. So
Yeah.
since this is Champions League, arena nako ya bafana ba style mo. We have to play like hooligans that they are so that we can go through.
Yeah.
Yes. That's me speaking as a politician, but speaking as a football lover. I'm a supporter of Orlando Pirates. Speaking as a football lover, Ronald Williams was had an impressive game yesterday, especially in that first save of the match.
The first 3 minutes, yeah.
What I've noticed with these North African teams, the first 10 minutes, if you can survive, because they run like headless chickens, if you can survive that couple of minutes, you are through.
Yeah.
You are through.
Yeah.
And then we go to Motaung. I'll tell him not Bafit. It's dangerous out here. Motaung must sip up line. Sorry for the language, Motaung dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing is, I felt like Sundowns was going to win the game. But I think maybe they were told by the coach to hold back. But what I've noticed that there was a couple of runs being done by Motaung as well as other players that could have been played behind the defense, but they chose not to. So I don't know if it was the instruction from the coach, because even though the player who has the ball can see that, they chose not to play it. So I think it was the instruction from the coach.
Is that a good or bad thing? Is that a good or bad thing? Because what we've seen with our teams, especially in the Champions League, they struggle with discipline. And sometimes they try things that maybe they shouldn't be trying. Do you think that it's a good thing that Sundowns is approaching games like that?
I think the first important thing to note, I think this will be the first CAF Champions League that is influenced by VAR.
Okay.
So that means that the referee's decisions will not be emotional or be influenced by people in the background. So for this Champions League, for this season's Champions League, I think it's important to go through no matter what. So what type of football you play, it doesn't matter. But moving forward, I think South African teams are noticing that there's nothing special about these North African teams. They're just running like headless chickens.
Okay, here's a quick question before I change. Do you think that hurts South African teams, the chopping and changing? So we play one way at home, we play one way away, we come back and play another one, then want to play another one when we play. Does that hurt? Does that help or hurt the teams? And if the Arabs and the North is focused on their football and their football only, is that an advantage? While Tina, we are going up and down.
No, as I was saying, South African teams, my brother, we are still adjusting to CAF Champions League. And that means we have to move step by step. For this season, our focus is to just go to the next round. But I can guarantee you that next season, we're going to play these teams, whether by ball positions or attacks or whatever, we're going to play them on all grounds. Because we are understanding how this CAF Champions League works.
Okay. For time, let me jump in and bring in Enos. Enos, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you, OG?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. South African teams are doing the business. How do you feel about Esperance versus Sundowns?
You know, I almost said to you, can I exchange the slot and then I come in when it's Pirates? Because you know, Pagania. But because, you know what, because I love soccer, regardless of Pirates or what, let me just go on.
Yeah.
You know what? We as South Africa now, this is our chance, and we have to prove to this. I will be specific, say these North countries, because what they've been doing for years, they've been bullying us. We've been robbed so many times. You know, once Pitso cried about this thing, and then because at that time maybe we're not too united, we felt like maybe Pitso was just complaining or what. So Sundowns played very well. You know, let me also say congratulations to Stellenbosch. Sundowns played very well. Sundowns, even when they went away, they showed the esperance, or those years have passed where you used to win games against us. You know, they attacked. They tried by all means to be disciplined from the back. Rowan Williams did a very good job, you know. As one of the speakers was saying, we know that Sundowns defensively, they're not that good, but they worked so hard, you know. As I'm saying, I'm tempted to talk about Pirates, but it's fine. So you know what I can tell you right now is that the VAR may serve a certain justice to us. Because these Egyptian teams, they used to bull us, bull even the referees, and make the referees to make decisions to fall on their favor. Do you understand? You can even look at on the game of yesterday. They were trying, but the referee stand firm, and I think the impact of VAR, it's gonna play a certain roles, but our Disquiarona, man, it has changed. You know, you look at how Bafana is performing. That's another example or the proof of saying our league has grown. Because the national team will tell you about your league. So if Pirates, Sundowns, and I hopefully Chiefs will come in the next years, if they keep doing well, Stellis is there. Stellis is there. You know, so this proves that we are good. The point of we changing how we play when we play in CAF, somehow it needed to. For example, look at Pirates on the early stages. We were playing our normal football, attacking fast, goals, all that. But immediately when now the competition started to be tough, a coach needed to be smart. He realized that no. Our normal football, we won't survive.
Yeah.
Because this is where now these African team, they come aggressive. You know, myself too, I was shocked yesterday that you were defending. But if you look at it from yesterday, if I bring it a little bit to Pirates, we let them dance on their half. They had so much position, but where? On their half. When they come this side, they couldn't penetrate us. So our style will change for us to conquer. We need to change a little bit. You know, we need to be strong defensively and all that. Yeah, let me leave it there. I so wish. Yeah.
Ah, guys, for the 1 minute that's left here, I'm going to ask you the same question there in the comments. Have the team sold out? And is it something that we should be doing as South Africans? Because it almost feels like it's a cop-out to say that our football can't go and win these things, so we need to go look like those guys. Are we forsaking maybe our football? Are we renyatsa football to say that we can't build it to the point? Are we too lazy to build it to the point where we can go win those things? Because if we're being honest, the last time we won this cup, Coach Pitso was playing not negative football, but it was soccer football. Abo Langerman, abo Shompo Kekana, abo Sugar Babunda. All of those guys, Hardman, for example, for most of that team. When you go to Hugo Bruce, doing well, Bafana, he's not doing well with a style of play that maybe we'd call ours in South Africa, right? When you look at the Champions League in the past, Gavin Hunt and Chiefs got to the final playing the worst football that we've seen. For example, are we selling out our football by going that way? Or is it just the evolution of football? Let me know there in the comments. But let me bring in Conti. Conti, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, OT, how's it?
Man, I'm good. Conti, hey, like can I go to semi-final, man? How do you feel about your game versus Esperance?
Firstly, congratulations to all the South African teams that have made it through to the semi-finals, the Lees, Orlando Pirates, and Mamelodi Sundowns. I think for me, as a supporter of Sundowns, the only team I was fearing in this CAF competition is Esperance. And going into the semi-final, I'm more sort of composed and relaxed. But having to have a coach like Cardoso who keeps things very simple, neat, clean, he doesn't complicate. When he sees something, he replaces. So that having him and his mental attitude and also, the experience that he has, I think he made us sort of, most of the Sundowns fans will tell you that he made us to be more relaxed in this, to having to face Esperance. But the first leg you saw that Sundowns played against a team that was playing a low block. And I think Esperance, they never even had a shot on target. So it was just one way in terms when we played at Loftus. But I mean, they missed their striker who was out injured for 9 months, Rodriguez, and then Teka was also not there. They are number 8, and then Usase, their number 10, was he didn't also play a good game at Loftus, but. What was surprising for me, because Esperance in both the legs, they have good attacking players, and in the second leg, they showed that they can attack, and they tried to attack in the first 10 minutes, but we saw Rowan Williams in the first 2 minutes having to save a brilliant save there, and we saw 5 players who played their hearts out. Mokwena, Lunga, one of the most underrated players at Mamelodi Sundowns, played his heart out. For me, one of the men of the match. Allen, what a player. And we also saw Motaung also fighting there. And I think as well as Usales played well, playing in that double number 10, as well as coming back Yenano Rivero. So it was a good tactical sort of a game with Coach Cardoso, not having to sit back, but saying we're going to go to them and we're going to play combination play. We're going to defend with the ball. That's what he did. So in this game with Sundowns, they defended with the ball. We had more ball possession. First half, the last 15 minutes, Sundowns was dominating. We saw they did 15 passes where Allende almost scored a goal. And we also saw Rivero cutting inside. He also almost scored, but there I thought he should have also passed it. But in terms of answering your questions, in terms of are we changing our style to win? Are we changing our soul? I think sometimes we need to allow the teams to sort of suffer because you cannot attack all the time. There will be moments where you will need to suffer. So in that saving, to say that it will show as if we are sacrificing our soul in terms of the football we are playing, but we need to do that in terms of having to win, because you can't attack 90 minutes. It's almost impossible because you are playing a high quality teams and they're very tactical as well. So you need to play in moments.
Marakonti, what would you say to the people that say that, you know, you've gutted Mamelodi Sundowns with Mangoba, with Rulani leaving, you've brought in Caruso. It doesn't seem like we will go back to our football. What did you say to people that would say that to you? That, you know, once you go down this road, you can't come back. And can this road be sustainable for our football? Or is it just now the time that we have to wake up and say, hey, maybe this is what it is?
Yeah, but if I were to ask any of you or any of the fans in the two legs, did Mamelodi Sundowns not build up from the back? Did Mamelodi Sundowns not play a combination play? Did Mamelodi Sundowns not have ball possession? At some point, even away, they had 58 ball possession against Esperance, against 90,000 fans. So are we saying Mamelodi Sundowns has lost their soul? I say no. So in answering your question, I would say Coach Cardoso went out there in Africa and showed them that we can still play our ball possession. We can still build from the back. We can still come out of the pressing. You saw in the first 10 minutes, they were pressing us high up and they got so tired because you can't press for 90 minutes. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to talk about Pirates yet. We'll talk later. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't think we're really losing our soul, but I think we sort of trying to mix in terms of the high level of concentration, because you cannot go and do that for 90 minutes, because one mistake you'll get punished. And you must understand that the mistake that I'm talking about, players like Ribeiro, if they don't release the ball early or if they over carry the ball and they can take the ball, you'll get punished. So you have to be very careful. Time is gone. All right.
Let me bring it to Tato. Tato, welcome to the show. How are you?
Shosho, Tate OT. Shosho, it's been a long time, Tate OT.
No, I'm joking. Tato, tell me, what do you think of this game that Sundowns played with Esperance?
Sure. Firstly, I'm a Pirates fan, guys, and I'm happy for Sundowns, Pirates, and Steelies for going to the semi-finals. Sharp. Firstly, I'd like to say Sundowns didn't lose their how can I put it, their core playing style, like the previous panel said. Yeah, they're so. They were starting the ball from the back. But Mina, I want to disagree. This is a North African football, and mind you, we are adopting it. We are not adopting North African football. Is the occasion makes people to change tactics. Sundowns was playing as the other. Sundowns was defending with the ball, and Pirates was defending with the space. There's a difference tactics. The North African football is intimidating the referees, intimidating the oppositions. And I don't think Sundowns and Pirates did that. We didn't intimidate them. And when I say intimidate, even their fans, even their technical team. For example, I don't want to talk about Pirates game, but for example, okay, let me put it like this. Pirates and Sundowns, during the group stages, because of their away goal rule, was not really there. They were playing their football. And something that North Africans take advantage of is this away goal rule. They understand the away goal rule, how important the away goal rule is. That's why they play this. So Sundowns, if you can check, they told themselves, we have one need. We don't need to push ourselves. And Esperance thought Sundowns is going to come at them hard. So Sundowns, if you can check the game, we're playing nicely at the back, build-ups nicely. Why? They wanted them to come so that now we can hit them. So if Esperance was sitting at the back, why should Sundowns go and look for 4 goals, 5 goals and stuff? We already 1 goal advantage. Let them come to us and then we'll play. If they kept up that 15 minutes, they kept up that 15 minutes, Sundowns would have scored 2 or 3 goals. If experience kept at that high pressing thing, and we will be talking something else, which yeah, Sundowns didn't change their souls. No, it's the tactics. We don't need to rush ourselves. North African football is the evil side, the dirty tricks they play, excluding the football they play there. It's the outside elements, intimidating, calling Sundowns abotogoloshi, what. So even for Pirates last game, if you can check the technical team, they took the balls from the ball boys because they understood what time wasting, the dirty game of CAF and stuff. And VAR is helping us footy. And I'm glad Sundowns, even though I'm a Pirates fan, if they benefited, I'm glad to Sundowns benefited.
Can I ask you just for the last minute here? What would you say was Sundowns' issue with winning this, the CAF Champions League? And do you think that Cardoso is fixing that?
I want to say about Rulani, the previous, when they went out semi-finals. If you can check, Sundowns missed a whole lot of sitters there. So we cannot say it's a style of play if players that game or those 2 legs, players missed. And I'm not talking down on players. It happens. They had a bad luck to they missed chances because there were many chances where, like someone misses the ball and it goes out. We cannot say that thing is a style of play because let's say it was the style of play, let's defend. And maybe Reynas gets one opportunity and he still misses. And the North African wins on penalties. What are we going to say? So it's not a style of play because if people say it was a style of play, Rulani failed Sundowns, check how many chances Sundowns missed, created. So it's not the style of play. But all I'm saying, check the group stages. The group stages, the away goal rule doesn't work that much. It's all about winning, getting the 3 points. Knockout stages, there's no 3 points in knockout stages. It's the away goal rule. So the North African teams understand the away goal rule. That's why we play in this, how we play, because now we cannot force ourselves to say, no, we're going to dominate and get tired. They score 1 goal. They know when we go to their backyard, they just defend and we go there Futinati trying to get the goal. They score 1 goal and they're happy. No, the occasion makes people to change tactics. Yes, Sundowns is a ball player. That's why I say Pirates were defending with spaces because last game, I say Pirates, but they had only 1 shot. Sorry.
What time, Tata? What a jump in. Let me bring in Usiroto. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and you, my guy?
I'm good, but I'm good. Tell me about this game and tell me about how you feel about the South African teams.
Fantastic and excited at the same time. I just want to thank the best 3 teams in South Africa, in Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Stellenbosch. I'm very proud to be South African again. You can see the hard work through the wins that we got this at this stage, that really our football is improving, my guy. Even you from the studio, I can see you are proud. You're no longer overthinking. That's the least I can say, my guy. Well, back to the game. By the way, I'm a Pirates fan, but I was impressed with Mamelodi Sundowns. You can see their technical planning from the game that in South Africa they wanted to get a win, but outside the country they played for a draw, a clean draw. Keep the ball, rotating the ball, making sure that the opponent, they don't get the ball, frustrate them with ball position. That's it, man. I think that coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, Cardoso, is very good. You can see he's planning. He's not rushing his decisions, even if there are little mistakes here and there. He keeps faith in his first 11. So I was proud, my guy, to be honest.
Is that the difference that he's bringing to Sundowns? Do you think that is what Sundowns was lacking?
He's not rushing. That's the thing. And then you can see in South Africa, we like to say we have Chugela. And then that's where we are getting let down there. Because you can see these North Africans, they are too tactical. What the two coaches from Pirates and Sundowns did is to adopt their tactical side. You know, that's why they were beating us. Their football is direct. They go to the middle field, then to the side cross, and then it's a goal. Us, we carry the ball for a long time before we release to our attackers. And inside the 18 areas, we were rushing. Now you can see that we are adopting their style of play. And then it's good. It's a good thing, man. All in all, it's football. You have to learn. You have to apply your knowledge of football. Every day you have to learn a new tactic. That is why you can see we are improving. It's because we are learning that side.
Is there a way to make our football, whatever we call our football, is there a way to make our football that? Is there a way to make ushugela into sweetener? I don't know, and try and make it technical and better without standing out? Because Abo Ribeiro weren't really in these games, for example.
I don't think we are selling out. Back to Mamelodi Sundowns game. You saw the blueprint of Mamelodi Sundowns. It was there.
Yeah.
Keep the ball. Start the ball from the back. The only thing we were lacking is the tactical side of the game.
Okay.
You know, we are learning it from them. That is a good thing. But we didn't rush to the referee whenever there's a foul. We did not intimidate their fans. We played our normal game. The only thing that we did is to adjust our technical side of the game, to know that at some point you don't need to win clean. It doesn't matter. 1-0, then you pack the bus. It's okay. You see, you have to adjust.
Okay.
Even if you can check the scoreline of the 4 games, it's only Pyramids
that scored a high,
only
that hit the 4-1.
It's only Pyramids. The rest, because they have experience of the CAF Champions League, 1-0 is enough. You score 1, you defend.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Khatiso. Khatiso, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, gee, how's it?
Man, now I'm good, man. How do you feel about ES Tunis and Sundowns?
Hey, yeah, it was a tough game. It was a tough game for Sundowns. It was very, very tough. And what I like Mokadoso, I'm a Pirates fan, but what I like Mokadoso, Koninto I change kancane Sundowns. Not good instead of style of play, but sometimes you don't have to be fancy to win football. Yes, I hear about Junior Khanye. I hear about but hey, we need to be dominate but essentially, what did they did for us as a nation? Because Sundowns has been in the Champions League since maybe by win. It's now 7 years to 8 years. But they struggle to win because of this mentality of dominate. You can dominate the ball, but at the end of the day, the results count. That's what Cardoso bring in their team. Sundowns, they're still playing, they still dominate, but uyabona i-CAF sebayitwistile ingqondo yabo ukuthi guys, sometimes we just need to score, then we defend, we run. But what I'm trying to say is that Sundowns, they have a problem defense. And mina ngizokutshela iqiniso. I-Pirates ne-Sundowns, they are gonna meet in a final.
Okay.
But the winner is Orlando Pirates. I'm not saying in the terms of fan bam because of I'm biased. No, I'm talking in terms of defense Sundowns. Defense Sundowns is not good. Williams uhlala phuma, and I saw nama-save awayenzile ukubonisa ukuthi they're very strong, but defensively they're not good. And what I saw North African teams, they're very strong when mabadlala ama-cross. No, we're sighting. They don't play through the middle. They never break you through the middle. Abana they'll pass. That's why when you check a game here is Sundowns. I mean, there is Sundowns. You can see what never defender Ramnandi. You understand? But what we have to say is that we need to know what I'm happy for both Sundowns and Pirates. Cool. I'm very happy and I just wish we focus. I choose
Stellenbosch, man.
I'm sorry.
Stellenbosch.
But this Stellenbosch for me, I lose my player wabo next season, and I mostly bazoya Pirates or Sundowns. But I'm very happy to South African teams. Iyabonisa ukuthi these three teams, even Bros, he choose from these three teams, majority. Even they can criticize, but he knows what to do. But for South African football, I'm waiting for that final. And I'm smelling it, but I just pray ukuthi yenzakale ibe Sundowns no Orlando Pirates. But good for South African football. And what I like in Sundowns is that I change the mindset to which we don't need to be fancy sometimes. We just need to be technical and win, because at the end of the day, you can play fancy football, but if you are not winning, it's a problem. You understand?
But I want to ask you at this last minute, can fancy football become something that wins? Shota ukuthi sithathe lento yethu and go and win with it.
For me, it depends on which team are you playing with. Angithi OG, let me explain something, OG. There was away, there was home. There are two different things. More home, you need to score. You need to make sure you're dlala. Play your football, but be disciplined at the defense. Then when you go away, that's where you defend. Then you score by transition. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Same thing the Pirates. Yes, we've been defending kahle but now the team lesidlala nayo home next week. So we have to play football yethu. Same thing the Sundowns. They're playing Elo Stars. They have to play their football. Then when they go to away, that's where you be technical. You don't have to be fancy. Technical. You just defend kahle. Then you are through to the next round. So it's about technical and tactics. Even you can check now UEFA, it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
If you can watch the Arsenal game.
Yeah. Very quickly.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Even you can check the Arsenal, it's the same thing. Even you can go to Europe, it's the same thing. You need to be technical. It's not about fancy. Check who to dlala kuphi and how you're gonna win, because of you need to save that one. The defense ukuthi ungakori. That's why CAF manje you can see. That's why I'm happy with Sundowns.
What time about to jump in? Let me go to Karim. Karim, tell me about ES Tunis versus Mamelodi Sundowns, guys. Get ready. Next up, we're going into Orlando Pirates. So if you want to speak about the Pirates game versus MC Alger, please request. If you want to speak about Sundowns, unfortunately, we've had the hour. We're going into Pirates now, so I'm going to prioritize the Pirates people. So please don't request if you don't want to speak about Orlando Pirates. Karim.
OT, how are you?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm rested. I was out of office. I've been a fan of football this week, so I'm happy.
Kumnandi South Africa. Kwaza kwamnandi. Asazi ngabanye. Mara, congratulations to Sundowns, to the Stellies, to the Pirates. It's a good time to be South African, hey? I hope you meet in the final. And I hope this translates to AFCON also. But anyway, let me talk about the game from yesterday's game. It was a very, very, very tough game for us, eh? And it's good we had VAR. Eish, we would be crying right now. But Coach Cardoso did what he did what he did to Rulani. The question now is, can he take us further to the finals? Because remember, Rulani also was eliminated in the same year. So now, can he take us to the finals? That's the big question. So my worry going to this Al-Ahly game and Cardoso's tactics is that when you go to a team like Al-Ahly, you need to show them disrespect, no respect at all. You need to play how we beat them in the previous games, your 5-0, how Pirates beat them, your 3-0. You don't show them any respect. My concern with Cardoso, he has this tendency of changing his tactics. Defending, will it work against Al-Ahly? I'm concerned. I hope he doesn't defend, especially if you're playing home. Away, yes, he can defend, but I'm just concerned. This tweaking of his style to defend, adapting to the North African style is a bit of a concern when it comes to Al-Ahly. But for me, OT, we've been discussing this topic of adapting the North African style. For me, adapting it short term to win CAF is a must. We need to build that football heritage first. Let's win CAF 2 or 3 times or 4 times. Remove that dominance from the North Africans first, and then we can go back to our playing style, which is playing football. But then my concern with that, if we win CAF, let's say 2 or 3 times or 4 times, we get that heritage.
Yeah,
we won't want to let go of winning CAF. We'll get used to it, and then we might end.
Oh, Karim. Evan. Okay, let's see if there we go.
Oh, sorry, it was a call. Another thing I'm noticing, hey, as much as we are adopting this North African style of play to win CAF, it seems like North Africans are actually doing away with their style of play. The fact that they're getting South African coaches to go that side, which in the past they never did. It means they're seeing something that we maybe are not seeing. We've closed the gap. Everyone can see that. I think they can also see that the fact that they're bringing South African coaches, them bringing Rulani means they're compromising their way of playing. They want to play the way he plays. It means they're seeing something in him. You look at your Fadlu Davids.
Yeah.
I think these guys are seeing something that maybe we're not seeing here in South Africa. And my worry is that they're going to take all our resources and use it against us. And we're trying to adopt their style of play. That's my concern.
But then isn't that, just for the last minute here, isn't that part of the problem? Because for me, I hear us saying our football, our football, our football. But when you think about how our football has progressed, I think we're stuck. And Kibo Rulani are pushing the envelope, but it's Rulani alone. So are we invested enough in making our football world class? Is maybe the question.
Now that these North Africans are poaching our coaches, they're destabilizing us. Imagine if our league in our local league, we had Rulani, Pitso, your Fadlus, your Jose Riveros, your who's the Zinebaus, all at the same time. Different teams. Imagine how competitive our league would be. I feel like if losing these coaches, going abroad to the North Africans, they destabilized us. We would have been far if we hadn't let these coaches go. And that's the thing. It's all about money, investing into football. They have the power in terms of money, so they can attract these coaches. And I'm telling you now, Jose might end up there in North. It seems like all these coaches, whether they're coming from over Germany or wherever, they come here, get recognized, and then they end up in North Africa. And then these North Africans, I think they're using this against us. I hear also Pitos might be going back to Morocco. Is that good for us? I don't think so. I think if we had Fadlus, Rulanis, all of them here locally, our league would be so competitive. I think in CAF we would dominate. I think definitely we would dominate.
I want to jump in there. Okay, guys, we're going to go to Pirates, but all I want to say, thank you to the panels that have come in. We're going to go to Pirates now, but all I want to say, we actually have an episode of Three Man Press that has come out now. Well, it's going to be on YouTube, so check out the Three Man Press channel. We had Nkululeko on, and we were speaking about our football. And my contention has always been that it's easier to default to North African football because North African football is winning and it's a shortcut. But at the same token, we don't take the time to go and invest and develop our football. The conversation we have on the show every single day is, now Umfukeng, he's naturally gifted. Now, instead of taking that natural gift and building on top of it, Twana, let me show you how to make a third man run properly. But let me show you how to make a third man run properly. Let me show you how to shoot, space up to shoot. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do that. Let me show you how to run off the ball. If you are not building that, then you're sitting in a place where we are all craving this football. Mara, the truth is that Hugo Bruce was telling day one, guys, this football that you guys want to play is great. It looks beautiful, but what can you win? And, when you look at countries like, let's say, Brazil, you look at countries like Spain, at the time, they took their football and honed it and built on it and took it to a place. We speak about the North Africans. The North Africans are not as talented, apparently. They're not as talented as us. They don't have the technical ability. But what they did was, hey guys, we're going to come in and we're going to mold this football or this idea of a football to the point where the last 7 people that have won, 8 people that have won, have come from North Africa. The Wydad's, it's your Al Ahly's, it's your ES Tunis. Those are the guys that have won. So now, are we holding on to this idea of our football without actually taking the time to take it to the next level? I always use the example, just to close off, I always use the example of when you watch Italian football, Italian football. They even tell you the names of the things. This is the catenaccio, and the catenaccio comes from this, and then it was honed like this, and this is the father of this. Marcelo Bielsa, the Argentinian, did this and this and this. Tell me then, ipola letu, that we claim to love and all of that, have we dissected it? Have we studied it? Have we put resources behind it? Have we done all of those things? Mamelodi Sundowns is where Mamelodi Sundowns is, because Mamelodi Sundowns, unfortunately, it's only Motsepe who was willing to come in and say, okay, I will back this thing properly. I will be the one that puts money behind this thing, outrageous money, to go and get to that place, to get our football there. And then I even got to the point where he's like, hey guys, hey Chinchin, we need to go win. But are we serious about this football? Or is it a situation, is it a situation of other players who are supremely talented, but then they're not going to go anywhere? But anyway, let's move into Pirates. So we're going to go into Pirates. Pirates, of course, took on MC Alger, obviously coming in with a 1-0 lead. Unkota made sure that he went back to Algeria and he got the goal that was special. Pirates, of course, came into this game just needing a 0-0. And how the game panned out was that MC Alger had 9 shots, 1 on target. Pirates had 9 shots, 2 on target. MC Alger had more of the possession, 63% versus 37. They completed 479 passes versus Pirates' 277. But according to the stats, there were no big chances created and no big chances scored, obviously, from MC Alger, whereas Pirates had 1 big chance and they missed the 1 big chance, and I assume that is the chance that fell to Umabasa late in the game. Tagaba.
Hey, Bafo.
Uthini man?
Nize nenye manje.
Oh, enye yani.
Nenye manje. Naqala nasifuna isipiliyoni. Sathi asinaso isipiliyoni sokudlala ku-CAF. Siyadlala ngendlela edlala ngayo futhi. Ngiyakhala ndithi siyabhora. Kanti isipiliyoni sodlala yibhola ngoba isipiliyoni asinaso. Kanti kumele senze njani manje? Yini lengakumele siyenze manje? Angazi isipiliyoni asinaso. Kwasho izwe lonke isaqala i-CAF. Kwasho izwe lonke khala umhlaba wonke webhola. Wazwela uNkulunkulu egameni labantwana base-Orlando, saqeda emagrubhini, asidliwanga, sikusemifinali futhi manje. Angazi senikhala ngani ke manje? Angazi kumele senzeni ke manje, sivuze bani
ukujona man. Now nigibeleni man.
Wakuphi? Oh, isenifuna ukusitshela manje nisikele ngesipiliyoni. Anisasifuna isipiliyoni manje. Anisasifuna. Seni-right ngaso. Hayi. Impela eMzansi lana angazi kumele kwesini. Hayi kubi. Hayi. Kuthiwa is a CAF experience. Yiyo le esiyizamayo.
Yeah.
Yo, hayi kubi.
Manje ngitshela ngale game man, mina ngibona ngale Alger yabo man. Mina ngishokudala ukuthi man le team ayikho man.
No man, le team ikhona mntakababa. And angazi mhlawumbe ngizothi ngiyabhimba kanjani, but mangiyiqhathanisa nale beyidlana eSundowns, even from the first leg, I think le bedlana ePirates is doing better than that experience one.
Yeah.
Those Esperance one, no, angazi bafike kanjani futhi ku-semi-final, ku-quarter final, because
Yeah.
no, they didn't bring. Even though maybe Sundowns is shown superior tactics, but no, that one no. But these ones they were coming in, but at the same time, he playing Orlando Pirates or Gary Rivera. I could say it worked perfectly. Because remember, Mr. OT, Pirates yesterday, they need to go out. They had a 1-0 lead. So, and if you are playing at home, you've got a 1-0 lead, you're still gonna chance again if we don't regroup if the other team scored and come back and try to get a goal. So yeah, I'm gonna playing Hambe according to the plan. And also we're gonna try and say the ball position, those guys were dominant. We're dominant where? Because they only created one chance in 90 minutes. One. So it doesn't matter if we're gonna have 80% ball position, but as long as Izobale far away from our goalkeeper, ni business and take ball from right to left, ni buyise siswini, alise ka right, alise ngapho kudlala khona uhot, alibuyise back, aluse ngale kufanda royen, there is nothing you're doing, actually. And I feel that's the best way of defending, especially if you are leading. They must come to you because we are not looking for a goal team. We have scored Legu, Algeria. Yesterday was just to maintain everything the way it is because we know if the game is 0-0, we are going to the next round. That's it. I think this is extraordinary. Selling 4 games. It's only 4 games. And I've heard people they're saying, hey, this system that Pirates is playing of 3 at the back now is not sustainable. There is a time whereby it's going to backfire. Still backfire after winning CAF, please. And it is sustainable. I learned the 4 game. Is a backfire after. So icela backfire after one game.
Rivera hamba ne-sustainable man makahambe nayo as long as awinile.
Yeah, icela backfire sekale kubo singana stress sisharp siphethe cup asinankinga nje sibambe kanjalo sagada umzila ayikho edlula lena bafana because le isezandleni zethu iCAF. The only thing esezandleni zethu manje iCAF neNedbank isezandleni zethu. iLeague ayikho ezandleni zethu. Lesingaminya siminye nje impela ukuthi hayi iyipoko impela abosofa sonke embanza ke the spirit of Senzo Meyiwa and Clifford Muliko and Lester Manyathela can be with us. Sundowns lose 4 points ku-league. So kumkhuleko nje lapho. Kodwa le can you please that thing yokuthi i-sustainability sicela ifike after this 6th game. It will be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be remembered as the champions, not a sustainable team.
Mina ngazi ukuthi sustainable yini ngesizulu man, but it's fine.
Into ezikhulunywayo la kulamalanga sawadulela ngapha yiloko awusazi ngempela kanti kumele kwenziweni ngempela hayi ibhola leli nabantu abaningi nemibono eminingi ehlukahlukene kodwa yiko nje elikwenza libe mnandi. Siyabonga nje ukuthi siya ku-semi-final. I'm just worried ngegame ye-Easter because at sometimes sinokubhayiseka nge-Easter lapha e-Orlando. Hayi, let's hope ukuthi Rema ayibhukhanga, which means the only option ekhona imabhida or FNB. Hayi, ngesikhathi esiningi ngama-Easter isebenziswa yisonto vele lapha e-Orlando.
Bazafaka amatente lofters, it's fine.
Mangabe sebakhokhile uyithathile ubani lo Rulani ubani Roblaka lo stadium management.
Rent stadium man, iPirates zabanikeza Rent stadium.
Nasethekwini ngaba mnandi ngoba umuntu uzoba khona vele eThekwini. Angithi uGuti sonke sobe sehlile sichathile iy'ntelo ezinembi zonke zibe ziseduze vele ngoba kamhlaba elingana kuzobe kuseduze. Iy'nsizwa zizokhuphuka ngale ziletha leyo mpahla kule ndoda ye-kid manager ukuze izofika nje imabhila nje isivundile isi-right.
Isikhathi ngifuna ukuzingena, let me bring it uLethaba. Letaba, welcome. How did you feel about the Pirates FC Alta game?
Thanks, OT. I think, it's an exceptional result for Pirates. An incredible result for a team that was not in the Champions League last season. An incredible achievement, from where they were to what they've achieved now is great. I was a bit worried about how they approached the game, especially how they played away. I felt they didn't have much of a threat, even though they scored. I didn't have they didn't have much of a threat consistently, but I think they got it right. Yesterday, Nkota gave them an outlet, and Mofokeng, played better than when Dlamini was in the middle. So I think those two changes were very good, and yeah, I mean, gave them a better. If the decision making from Nkota was better, for example, with the Mahopa chance where he crossed, they could have gotten one, and it would have been easier for them.
Yeah.
But they played against the quality side. Although they didn't, that MCLJ didn't create much, but they got the result they needed, and that's what was important.
Can I ask you on that point you're making now about Nkota? And I might be diverting a little bit. Do you think that this game or this style of play that Pirates has adopted needs a Saleng, needs a Lodge type of play?
No.
If you get what I mean.
They're winning. Why do they need a Lodge?
No, I'm just saying, like, in Nkota there, Saleng does something different there.
Yeah, but he scored. This is a player who scored twice in the Champions League. Why do we need a Saleh? Why do they need a Saleh? So when players have done it, you must reward them, and he's played well. Even though, yes, he could have made better decisions, he played well. The reality is he scored and he played well. But the person I want to, congratulate here is the coach. The coach has really turned Pirates around, and for me, I feel like the Champions League is a free hit for him. When I look at him and I think about what the management would have said, these are your goals for the season. They've probably said, close the gap on Sundowns, one, win a domestic trophy, get out of the group stages of the Champions League. And that's it. And I think he's done it. So it's just a free hit for him now. He's leaving after the season. So it's going to be very interesting as how he approaches this game, the next game against Pyramids. But that back three doesn't look penetrable. It looks solid. It looks incredibly solid.
Okay, I want to ask you two questions. Do you think that if Jose Rivero continued on with Pirates, would you see something similar? Do you think something similar would happen next season? And then now that we know that he's leaving, what happens next season realistically, or what do you think happens next season?
No, I don't think he'd be able to build on that squad, because I don't think tactically he's built a squad that can play consistently for challenge for the league consistently and develop a game model that's going to progress for me for a long time. And also the club doesn't back him. It doesn't back it backs him, but they don't back their team like that. They're not going to invest 50, 60 million to compete with Sundowns. It's never going to happen. So for them, it'll be interesting as to who they find to come in. I don't know who the coach is going to be. I don't think they'll get a local coach either. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next season. I don't think anybody can predict what will happen next season.
Okay. Let me go to, before I go to Bushida Coffee, I want to say in the comments, do you think that Jose Rivero could have repeated this season if he stayed? Do you think that he could have improved? That is the question I am posing for the comments. Bushida, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hola, OT.
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm Bishabu Brayat. First point that I want to address is this topic that you just came out of regarding Ebola yetu, into yetu. We don't have into yetu in South Africa. We have to be honest. There is no into yetu. And if there is into yetu is the type of player that's very gifted skillfully. This player will eliminate 5 players, but he will get to the 18 area and he will pass the goalkeeper. That's into yetu as South Africans. We know, right? And that's how our players previously played in most of the games, whether it's Champions League, whether it was bafana, you'd get a team that plays beautiful one-touch football, get to the 18 area, pass the goalkeeper or hoof the ball. Have 20 chances, only score 1. That was us.
Yeah.
And if people are saying into yetu, we need to play into yetu, basically they are saying we need to go back to being failures in football, because that's what we were. if you look at the generation that was playing, that generation, Yabutiko Modise, Bushaba, going back to Buto Vilakazi, Bu Gift Leremi, that was interweight that never took us anywhere. Because that football was very attractive on the eye, but never brings any results. I just
So
right now, if you look at,
can I ask, is there a possibility to make the attractive football winning football? So, for example, I point to the Samba Boys of Brazil at that time when they were winning with the skill and all of that stuff. Is there an opportunity for us to do that, or do we have to go this route?
that's where your statement comes in now. You said something just earlier that in South Africa, we do not build on Intoye to so you can make Intoye to a winning formula. There is an opportunity for us, but unfortunately, we have to understand as a country that when you build on what you have, now you are integrating, skills or formulas or tactics from another region or another country or another Europe or whatever, because we know that Intoye is not being organized. Intoye is being skillful, but in terms of being organized and being tactical and being cautious, awareness within the game where you are and things like that for 90 minutes, that thing is not for us.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed now, what Mamelodi Sundowns has done differently this season in the Champions League, right? And I'm very impressed is the fact that they've learned one thing, especially for the Pirates coach as well. That mentality of saying every time when you are playing at home, you need to go for the kill.
Yeah.
You lose, my brother.
Yeah.
You will lose. So the only concerned thing coming to the Pirates game, the only thing that I was concerned about on the Pirates game is the fact that Riviero did not play with a 10. And that is part of the reason why, if we look, we couldn't get out of the press. And if you had looked at the game, I think 2 or 3 times Umbata tried to get out of the press, and at some point he was forced just to carry the ball by himself. At some point he lost the ball because there was no 10 to pass to. When he turns, there is no one in front of him to give the ball to. And I was scared that should these guys score, now he's going to try and make changes late, and then now we are chasing the game. You know what I'm saying? But I like what is happening with South African football at the moment, where we are now learning how to win games, because football recognizes winners. Football does not recognize a beautiful football. It recognizes winners, and that's how we are going to command the respect in Africa. That's how our players are going to be seen in other countries as well, as players that are capable to win a game, not just players that are capable of being skillful but no results.
Yeah. Okay.
That was just my point.
What time I'm going to jump in? Let me bring in Hansel, the concierge. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Otigunjan, my brother.
Man, Imnandi. Pirates, semi-final, eh?
Singenile bafu.
Uthi ngegame man, nanshaya MCL jaya abantu man. Naithanda Algeria. What's happening there with Pirates in Algeria?
Algeria is our second home, Mr. Uti. Mase Algeria were playing at home. I was very happy with the game because the way is the thing that I like mostly about Pirates nowadays is they know how to play without the ball. They know how to play without possession, because I think it was our biggest problem, and it was one of the things that was costing South African teams in the Champions League. You go there, you play your beautiful football, but then you lose, and history does not remember losers.
Yeah.
Almost winning is not winning, Mr. Oti. You need to win to get all those accolades. So basically, what I'm saying is I'm very happy with how Orlando Pirates played. At the end of the day, we won the match. So I think that's what's needed. The most important result there, it's winning. It's not going there and showing off, it's winning. So we are going to the semi-finalists. The team that we're playing with had, I think, about 60% possession, but they are out. We are progressing. So it shows how we played, it benefited us in a way.
So masingene kule singisi sakavelile. Is it sustainable?
Yes, it's sustainable, Mr. Otipela. If you check Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, they are both ball-playing teams. They just needed to adjust their style of play for the sake of CAF only. It's not like we cannot play football. It's just that we are doing it for the sake. When you are playing, when you are fighting a pig, Mr. Oti, you can't go there wearing white clothes. You need to wear an overall like it because you know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
Simple. Yeah, that's how you win the Champions League. Even our coach explained it. You know, for a team to play beautiful football, you need the other team to also play the same way. You can't play beautiful football alone, and then at the end of the day you lose and they win.
What did it take for us to go from Intoye to where it is right now to having a style of play that beats everyone? So, for example, how Spain developed tiki-taka to become a world-beating thing. Is it something that we can do as a country? Or we should do? Or should we just play this side?
No, we can do it. We just need to build on this type of play that we are playing now, especially if we are playing in the Champions League. We just need to improve it a little bit and polish it, and then we'll be good to go. There's nothing difficult there. I don't see anything that would cause us problems. We just need to develop. We just need to improve how we play. We build on top of how we are playing now. It's simple.
Can I ask you then, hey, we've been speaking about this football thing. Me, I want to speak about the team. Hey, Bogazi, man.
Yes.
Bogazi, the defense. Hey, I'm man.
Okay. Mr. Otto, you know, it's been a long time ever since we have seen a youngster that comes in and has that type of mentality. Even his interviews, you must listen to his interviews. There was once where he said, when we went to the field, we talked to often magadlalo, ofele ground. It shows the mentality. He's dedicated. He does not care whatever happens. Yena is representing the team. These days in South Africa, we lack those players that will fight for the badge. We have a lot of youngsters that were supposed to be representing their teams in a good way, but the problem is the commitment, Mr. Oti. You must be committed to die in the field for your own team. So he's very dedicated and he's not afraid of anything and anyone. Yesterday I saw him protecting Uoto no Mahopo when they were running. He stood there.
Was hiding behind it.
Yeah, what I can shy about it. So it shows good no, he's there to fight.
No, go.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Or no, we have youngsters that are dedicated, that are willing to die for the team. So he's one of those players that I think he's one for the future, Mr. Oti. He's one for the future. We have a player there.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me bring in Fresh Lord. Fresh Lord, last time we weren't speaking about Pirates. I want to bring you in on Pirates. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Tell me about this result that Pirates got versus MC Alger.
Sometimes you don't need to play that Brazilian flair or the Spanish tiki-taka. I remember Chelsea 2012 Champions League final. The ball was played in Chelsea's half. The result justify everything. So it depends on, this is a cup game. We don't need to play this beautiful football. We'll play it in the league because any mistake you make, you're playing your tiki-taka. Once you lose a pass, this North African team, they are very, very wise. Very, very wise. They know what they are doing. They will intimidate you. They will intimidate the referee. They will intimidate every inch, even the linesman, to get their way. So once you want to play your tiki-taka and they pounce on your mistake, that is it. Then you're out. Then we'll say Pirate play good football, but they are not in the semi-final. Who's in the semi-finals today? It is Pirate versus
But Fresh, isn't there a risk of maybe losing yourself if you are playing different things? Shouldn't we be focusing on trying to make quote unquote this football the best in the world instead of jumping back and forth?
Okay, Mr. T, I've tried to watch our next opponent. What's their name? I've tried to watch them. They are a good team. They play on the
Pyramids.
Pyramid. They play good. They are more. Probably they play more like Ahly. They play on the floor. I think if it depends on the opponent when the team is playing. It depends on the opponent. This experience yesterday, they are not even patient. They just want to get to the 18. But by the time you see they get to that half line, they are shooting. There is no penetration. Instead of like the penalty shout. Yes, Valera, he read the game wrong. He read it wrong. By the time you want to play, even Shiny was shouting before. He was waiting. That is their tactics. They want to intimidate the referee. But Pyramid played on the floor. Probably maybe by the semi-final we'll have more of our game to say we'll play on the wings. We'll use the space on the wings. But with this one that we just played yesterday, I think the way Pirate played, probably they will make an adjustment to the semi-final. I don't think they will lose their head to play the same way they want to play. They might change the formation. They might go back to their regular 4-4-2, or they play 3-4-3 when they are defending, they play with 5. When they are attacking, they attack with the rest of the guys. But kudos to the rest of the team, the Stellenbosch, the Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm just happy for South African League. It's progressing by years, and it is a good thing. Probably now more South African players can go out there to the continent, they can go to the world and show that South African League is something to write home about.
Okay, no, Fesh, thank you so much. I'm gonna jump in and just again, look, guys, I think I enjoyed the quarterfinals of this CAF Champions League. And if you watch any of my review videos, I've been saying the same thing, that, for me, guys, I don't find joy in just saying that we're better. So there's a thing that as South Africans, we always say, we are better, we are more skillful, we are all of that stuff. But if you don't, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. And I feel like that is where South Africa is. All of the talent. But instead of honing that talent and building that talent, man, it's the same situation as our development players. Our development players die when they have to make the jump because everybody says that person is good. And you ride them Nandi up until a point where you realize that this one doesn't have fundamentals. Because nobody taught them the fundamentals. There's no simbukele sithi umnandi no coach intwana le iyababa imfembu mayidlale. Right? Again, it's fine. But then it's like, if that guy doesn't get taught things, doesn't get taught all of this, we've even spoken about the players themselves. How many of them are being taught about finances, how to act, how to do this? I saw Mboga on a live today. You know what I mean? Like somebody was on live, they were showing him on a live today. And I'm like, where are our players being given all of the different platforming steps for them to get to where they need to get? Or are we just leaving them because we say they're naturally talented? And then chigi learn natural talent. I got next in a few years' time. So we need to, even with our football, it's not a given that you guys are coming here and you're going to play your football in pose. You have to make sure that you're building that football. And if you're not building that football, then what's the point? But anyway, let me bring in Ongama. Ongama, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
I'm good, OT. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me, Ongama, how did you feel about Pirates MC Alga?
Honestly speaking, OT, I was not watching the Pirates. I was watching Stellenbosch versus Zamalek. One of the
No, that's fine.
games.
Yeah, we can. Let's actually give Stellenbosch time. Yeah.
Hey, that was an amazing game, and OT. You know, one thing about Steve Barker, he has grown in such a level whereby he understands the stages of the games, whereby he needs to just defend and wait for the moment That's one thing that I was observing in that game. Zamalek was in the front line, putting them in the back foot. And when they got a chance, they just capitalized and then scored the goal in the 80th minute. They closed the game. So it was an amazing game.
Yeah, man. Mute ngaleke na papa's Java mute. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, we can go.
So the only thing that I saw in Orlando Pirates, it was only first half when out. But the maximum game that I watched all, it was Stellenbosch. But I can make compliment in Orlando Pirates game also. Orlando Pirates also has that approach of a game that Stellenbosch also came with, just to absorb the pressure and wait for your moments into the game. Sometimes when I saw that game into the first half, and also the couple minutes of the second half, I saw that Orlando Pirates, there were stages whereby they struggled, but what they needed, it was just a draw to get into the next stage. So I think we have to compliment South African football for doing well. But more special, there's a team that we are sleeping on. Stellenbosch is doing an amazing job that side. In Confed Cup, they are doing an amazing job. I just gave myself a time to watch them and see what they are doing in that side and skip Orlando Pirates game. But yeah, it's an amazing side on our team. They got a maximum points. If they skip Simba, maybe there is a potential to win that CAF Confederations Cup. And also Orlando Pirates, when they skip Pyramids, because it's another team that will challenge them. Abo Fiston Mariela and all those guys from North Africa, those clinical strikers. If Orlando Pirates can skip that team, it's promising that they can win the CAF Champions League. It's only left with the Pyramids game. I can promise you that.
Can I ask, Kungama, you know, when we're looking at this game, you're talking about Steve Barker. And, you know, Steve Barker, pretty much that's what his Stellenbosch does. I think they've changed a little bit this season, but what they usually do is just absorb pressure, hit you on the counter and score. It seems like that is the tactic that works well in this the CAF Champions League and all of that. Is there a possibility for a playing team that is ruthless, that just play, they don't want to defend? Is there a possibility of South Africa creating a team like that could go win? Or do we have to play like Bopaka, like Gavin Hunt, you know, like the northern teams, things like that?
You know, OT, one thing that I understood is that you can play beautiful football when you are playing in South Africa, but when you are playing in CAF Champions League, when you want to win games, you don't have to play good. It's up to, you don't have to play the maximum football whereby you present South Africa with a great football, because even the North Africans themselves, they are playing in ugly football. Sometimes they are angry, they are doing everything wrong to put you under pressure. So if you do something that will collect you 1 point, 3 points, that's a maximum points. You don't have to play beautiful football. That's one thing that I understood. Maybe you can try play a beautiful football when you are playing the Club World Cup challenge, whereby there will be a fair chances of the style of play and no corruption. Where when you're playing in AFCON, it's gonna be a difficult job, because there is a lot of things on our team. There is an aggressiveness and the speed. And another thing when our team, just to touch on lately, there is a thing that I understood about South African football. Yes, about South African players. You know, when South African players play slowly and progressing the ball in all phases, that's how we win the games. But when we try to play quick, we are always caught off guard. In most competition, even Orlando Pirates, even Stellenbosch, when they're trying to stretch up and open up the field, that's how we always caught caught because of our not closing up the spaces. Thank you, OT.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Paul. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, OT, how are you?
Man, I'm good. Paul, tell me about the Pirates versus MC Alga.
Can I please start here? White TMTA, White Nedbank, Sexual DKF. A fantastic game, a fantastic approach to the game. We didn't need to. Like, honestly, we didn't need to. We didn't need to outdo ourselves.
Yeah.
As long as they were not playing in the dangerous places. But I think tactically we were spot on. Yeah.
So, can we stomach tactically spot on, Paul? As South African, is it a thing we can do?
I think technically we can stomach it at this point, because I feel like there's someone who said it in the Mamelodi Sundowns earlier talks and whatever, and they said that the teams played well in the group stages, like Pirates were themselves in the group stages, and I think Rivero studied that when it comes to when you go into the knockout stages, we have to play a certain way. We can't play the Pirates way, because the Pirates way won't win us the cup. Yeah. Although it's very difficult for all of us to accept it, but the only person who's remembered at the end of the day is the winner. And currently, we are the only unbeaten side that is still in the tournament. We are the only side that finished top of our group that is still in the tournament. So, results are very important at this stage.
Can we do the back and forth? Can Pirates do both ways? Can you have your cake and eat it at this level?
Can we have a cake and eat it how?
Like, you're playing, I'm hearing everybody say, no, you play one way in the PSL, you go and play another way, you go and do this. Bafana, nowadays, Debs is being asked to do something different at Bafana than at Sundowns. Is it sustainable, in the words of Velil?
I think we can do it both ways, because I believe our players are coachable players, and isimo siyashintsha masifika kwi-PSL. Kwi-PSL teams are scared of us. In North Africa, teams are not scared. They are intimidating referees. They are trying to influence the game at all costs. So in the PSL, it's different, because you'll even see Sunday. Sunday, we know we're gonna have most of the ball. We can put in a 4-3-3 there, and it will work. Tito can climb all over the ball however he likes, because we're gonna be having most of the ball. But he can't really do that at this stage of the CAF Champions League.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why not?
You can't. OT. It's very difficult. He can't do that. He knows. Himself too, he knows. He can't really do that.
Okay. Let me bring in Papa's Java.
All right, chop.
Papa's Java. Evan, now what's happening? Guys, can you hear me there in the comments? Let me see. Pilani is there. Pilani, are you with me? Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Papa's Java, Upalami Paula is still showboating there, but it's fine. Pilani, I can hear you perfectly. Welcome. I'm going to go Pilani, then I'll go Papa's Java. Pilani?
With regard to the Pirates game, it was pretty much more robust. It was more of a result-based orientated fixture in that we already did like the majority of the job away, and it's just for us to like consolidate like back home, you know. So it's just more of us like protecting the lead and not doing too much as a result of that. And another thing that I've seen with this Pirates team is that Pirates have evolved again. Pirates have evolved again in a sense of what when you look at the Pirates team from earlier in the season and that transition from last season into this season whereby Pirates was the most dangerous team in terms of attack.
Yeah.
Our weakness was like our defense. In Guti, our defense was leaking a lot more goals, especially like within the middle of the season. And I think now with the introduction of Umbogazi and with Uklokino Swisi at the back, there is like there's like a new synergy in that Uklokino Swisi are pretty much like picking off of Umbogazi whenever like he makes a mistake. And because Umbogazi has a lot more freedom in terms of playing, when you play football and in a relaxed state, you don't make as much mistakes. You understand? So because Mbogazi has that amount of freedom and because he has that assurity of Uspisi Notoki at the back, Uspisi Notoki now, but they also benefit because for them, they don't need to put like as much effort within defense. You get what I'm saying? So this new 3-2-5 like formation here, it's just like another evolved tactic that Jose Rivero like kind of more or less like developed along the way, which is pretty much like the solution to like in the middle of the season whereby like we were losing here and there, we were leaking a lot more goals, etc. So it's very interesting.
Can I ask, you've got Bogazi, you've got CBC, you've got Toki, you've got Sesani, you've got Nda. If all of them are fit, who's the starting pair?
That'll be very tricky, but it wouldn't be as tricky according to the game, according to which game you're going into. I think it's better to have too much of something than to not have as much than to like ukshota. You get what I'm saying? So if you have like five defenders who are like fit, you've got like a lot more leeway and you've got a lot more fluidity on your side. Because there was a quote that I read. There was a quote that I read who would say, "It's actually it's very beneficial. It's very beneficial for you when people don't know who you really are. You know, that sense of anonymity could be like a very big advantage because people don't know who you're going to be playing. Whereas you, the person who has like the other options, you're able to be like very, very fluid into, okay, in this match, Usasani Nonda can play, in this match, Umagazi knows no species, and so forth and so forth. So therefore you can have like a very, very good rotation of players from the back going into the front.
But is it possible? Can you do that in defense? Or
if
season?
you're very smart.
Okay.
If you're very smart, yes. If you're very smart, yes, because I do have a theory, Ugote. You can actually like divide the league into 3 phases. So I get to the league is 30 games.
Yeah.
The league is 30 games. If you have like close to 40 players, you can divide those 40 players into like teams of 3. So for 10 games, you can play a team, and that team can play with the highest amount of intensity, and then probably like in the middle phase of the season, you can play another team, and then that team would go with the same full intensity, and in the final part of the season, you can go with the third team with the same amount of intensity. So in terms of like tactical fluidity, you do have a lot of tactical fluidity, which is the first thing. The second thing is that also in terms of injuries, a lot of players won't be like a lot less injury prone. A lot less injury prone, and that sense of anonymity also could play in your favor if you know how to do it well, though.
Okay. Let me see if Papa's Java. All right.
Internet.
Okay. Then let me bring in somebody who can finish. Heaven. No, but thank you, Pilani. Thank you to Papa's Java, even though he's not here. Let me see Mang Fagu Mindlo. Can you hear me?
How's it work?
You sound far away, Mindlo.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear you, but you sound so far away. Are you wearing headsets, maybe?
No. Just using my phone as normal. No headset.
But you sound far.
Probably my volume. Let me do this.
Let me check in the comments. Can you hear me, Mindlo?
Can you hear me now?
It's still very low.
Very low. Okay, let me come back, but let me fix something here.
Okay, no stress. Let me bring in Ukagiso. Ukagiso, are you with me?
OT,
How are you, my brother?
I'm good, but are you?
I'm good, man. What did you make of the Pirates MCLG game?
Yeah, it was a good game. But first of all, I just want to congratulate all the three teams, man, that are representing South Africa: Stellies, Sundowns, and Pirates. I think Pirates played well. They didn't have like to go all out. I mean, we would just give him those not African teams a test of their medicine, because that's what they used to do. Actually, they play well when they play at home, and when they play away, they play dirty and aggressive, trying to manipulate the game. And yeah, so we just give them what they're actually capable of doing. So we're just showing them that we can do it much better, you know. So yeah, Pirates really didn't have to go all out. The home game comes to already scored away goal. LJ, I mean, if MC Asia, those are gonna do the same thing if they're the one who scored that single goal. Coming to Orlando, they were just gonna play dirty, you know. So yeah, and even though Paris didn't play a dirty game, but you saw how those players they were trying to do by all means to get penalties, diving, fighting the referee. I mean, come on, it's ugly. That's not what us South African fans enjoy when it comes to football. We like to play good, clean football, and yeah, beautiful game. But at the end of the day, because it's a African tournament, like Pitso used to say, you know, when you play in Africa, you don't have to play beautiful football because those people will bully you, they will kick you. And I wasn't surprised when I saw Mashonganye on the bench, because I knew that fans will actually trying to see what he can do in tricky games. But I mean, being Mashonganye playing good football, doing those tricks, but Coach Rivera actually knew that if he tried to do that, they will kick him and they will break him, and he's gonna need them. And there's still games to play in our league. So, yeah, you don't have to play our football. Even though there's a lot of questions say that we're losing our style. It's not about losing our style. It's about adjusting to the type of football that you're playing with the opposition that they're bringing. So, yeah, good teams, there are teams that adjust to any type of style, any condition of weather or pitch. A good team always adjusts and always manage to win games, regardless of who you're playing. So I think our African teams also, I mean South African teams also adjusting to what's in front of them. If we go to Congo and we get bullied.
No, I wanted to ask you, would you have a problem? Would you have a problem if those teams wanted to play that football full time?
Yeah, like we saw on Sundowns. I think there were times when Mamelodi Sundowns players were collecting a lot of yellow, red cards, and people were starting to question why these Sundowns players are so aggressive and playing rough game, but because they used to play in Africa, sometimes it gets into your game when you're trying to push and trying to win a game by any means. You become aggressive. So I think, but I don't think we're gonna lose it. But it's just about how you approach the game and how you actually apply it when it's needed, so because even though we were playing those not African teams, I don't think Pirates or Sundowns or Stellenbosch lost their identity during those games. I think they apply it, but in different way, where there's a stages when they need to go forward and score or trying to get the goal. They will play their normal game, but when it comes to defense and win the position, they become aggressive and play what those teams are playing as well. But I don't think that they can lose their identity and play like North African teams. No, but it's about adjusting who are actually playing. And I think it's important for our teams to do that, because normally we were playing good football and it wasn't bringing any joy to us. We can play good football and we enjoy as a South African, but we end up losing and be on the losing side. So yeah, I think our football is changing, because we're actually doing what those guys normally used to do to us, and we're doing to them, and you can see it frustrates them as well. So yeah, we are teaching
I'm
them.
gonna jump in. Let me see if Mindlo's back. Mindlo?
Can you hear me?
You're still far away, Mindlo.
I'm still far.
Yo, even further away now. While you try something, Hansel is reminding me the under 17s are playing versus Morocco at 9 o'clock. They're playing versus Morocco at 9 o'clock. Under 17s have qualified for the World Cup. They're through to the knockout rounds of the AFCON. Mindlo?
My brother, yes.
You're far away, Chief.
Yo. It's disappointing.
Yeah, no, they can't hear. Guys in the comments, can you hear me? Okay, let me do this. Hey, Mildro, for time, I'll just have to do something here. Let me see if we can't get Staji to just wrap it up for us. Staji! Oh. Evan. Okay, guys, I guess for time's sake, I'll just have to jump in. I just wanted... Oh, Staji, are you with me? Ute?
Yeah.
Staji, tell me about... Play like Pirates MC Alga. Orinka.
Yeah, now, I got a creamy.
Can you pori?
Mariana, na parade, the trader best, parade.
Yeah.
The trader best. We part the one thing, Geratan, parade. Very happy, man. Happy. The pizza could not die. Yeah, my good Mary. Parade, a bacatata. A bacatata, Ruina. And
how should we never say winner?
Yeah, c'est pas winner. Very winner this CAF.
Yeah.
I think come back in a calling for this one. For this one, come back in a calling.
Mara salenga sodlala ukamo Kenya cold. Akena mona khubata nje atata ufitla.
Yeah?
Ukamo Kenya sokadlala next umukenya nje.
Now ho better fikra mari in for the back for a can in the yan.
I'm telling you, galabol.
Okay. How shebile Pirates tlo etsang next round? Le Pyramids.
Yeah?
Pirates e etsang next round le Pyramids.
Yeah, no, ya go wina mare yana. I'm not about this game. Mare, guys, if Pirates win, kana ka dumela gore Pirates ya go wina this league.
E re ko botse Staji. If Pirates win a Champions League, coach o kenang ka hobane Jose Rivero wa tsamaya, coach o kenang o reng ka ena o tlo ba le pressure.
And go visit to me, go win it because when I play at the Orlando Aban. So yeah, can give me all the pattern to go not strong Aban. That's gonna listen to my best.
Okay. No. Taji, thank you so much. Yeah?
Naran said for Rivero Atama.
Yeah.
I'm said for Rivero Atama. I'm Makapatat of Alan the Parrot. Liban the Basset, Babaki Rivero Atama. Mary, we can't set that. We can't set that.
Taji.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna close the show now. Thank you to everybody that joined the panels. I just wanted to close off by saying Zamalek, Stellies. The stats were as follows. Stellies at 7 shots, 3 on target. Zamalek at 10 shots, 2 on target. Zamalek at 64% of the possession versus Stellies at 36. They completed 557 passes versus Stellies 228. But they had one big chance and missed it, whereas Stellies had one big chance and did not miss it. That is the story of the Champions League. That is how you win in the Champions League. It's not a high-scoring league. It's not 4-3s and 3-4s and 5-0. It's a hard, crafting league where teams tend to play defensively. I've always said about the Champions League that the Champions League is about who makes the mistake. It's not about anything else. You can play beautifully, you can play ugly, you can play whatever you want to play. But the CAF Champions League, sometimes go AFCON, it's all about the mistake. And if you make the mistake, you lose. Whoever makes the least mistakes wins. So that is, unfortunately, for those who want to see other things, that is what this Champions League boils down to. If we're being honest with ourselves, that's what AFCON boils down to, if we're being honest with ourselves. Last parting thoughts, I just want to say, if we want our football to win, we need to be serious about our football. We need to study it. We need to grow it. We need to expand it. We need to do every single thing to it so that it can be of a higher level. If we don't do that, it's going to stay where it is. And we're going to love it and we're going to cherish it, but it's not going to give us results. And I think the bridge to being world-class and exporting more players and having more teams and doing more of those things that we see the other countries in Africa doing comes down to that. If you believe in your football, you got to back it. You got to back it. And if you don't back it, it's going to lag behind. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. We'll have a chat about the games that are going to be happening over the weekend. It is the Nedbank weekend. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you then tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye, everyone. Oh, guys, yeah, wait. Last thing. If you ever see any brand things on my page, share it to your story, comment, like, watch it 700 times if you need to. Those things are very important analytics-wise, so that's almost the best way to support the channel. So if you see the brand things, I've got a Lay's thing now, I've got an APSA thing. Just take some time, share it, watch it as many times, do those things because that also helps. If there's links, follow them, all of those type of things because that helps the brands come back, and this is how we are living as content creators. So please, guys, help me out there. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Bye, everyone.